We are expecting the former FBI director at any time now on Capitol Hill for this closed-door transcribed interview under oath. The key thing here to set expectations is that the behind closed-door interview could last several hours. In fact, well into the evening is what we expect. For Republicans, they say this really comes down to two key issues, core issues. Number one, power, and the second, accountability. Power in the sense that during the presidential campaign in 2016, the FBI ran a criminal investigation tracking the Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton and her use of a private email server. And then they closed that for the first time, and within a few weeks they opened what's called the counterintelligence investigation. This is one of the most secret and sensitive investigations handled by the FBI, and that was into the opposing candidate, Donald Trump. Once again, let's hear from Trey Gowdy.
The FBI had a criminal investigation into a presidential candidate, and then less than a month after that ended, they launched a counterintelligence investigation into the campaign of the other major presidential candidate. So that's a lot of power that we have given an entity, and it is not too much to ask for the former head of that entity to come explain to Congress the decisions made and not made during the relevant time period.
Democrats have been highly critical of this Republican effort to bring in the former FBI director. They say it's driven by politics, and they point to the fact that the Republicans are making one last push before they lose control of the gavel starting in January. Last night, a senior Democrat, Eric Swalwell, pointed to the fact that Democrats believe President Trump could have avoided the special counsel investigation if they had never fired James Comey in the first place. Here's Swalwell.
The president's worst instincts continue, I think, to haunt him, and will ultimately be, what exposes him criminally when Bob Mueller finishes.
Just for some context, 16 other witnesses have sat for these transcribed under oath interviews with House Republicans. But what sets this one apart is under the terms that were brokered with James Comey's legal team, there will be a transcript made publicly as early as 24 hours after the session. So you could look for that as early as over the weekend, Sandra.
All right, Catherine, we could learn a lot over the next few hours. What else are we expecting to learn today from the special counsel's investigation?
Well, we're expecting two sets of filings. They're kind of two buckets here, if you will. The first is in New York, and it has to do with the president's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen. There are going to be two filings there. Both go to the issue of sentencing and the recommendation of the special counsel based on Michael Cohen's level of cooperation. One was with the special counsel. He admitted to lying to Congress over a Moscow real estate deal in 2016. And the second has to do with sort of New York State charges, bank fraud, tax fraud, as well as election campaign finance allegations. The second is going to be here in Washington, D.C., and it has to do with the former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. That's at a different stage in the legal action. It's at a different stage because the special counsel has claimed that Paul Manafort violated his plea agreement and has not been forthcoming. Manafort's attorneys say that's not the case. The special counsel is using strong-arm tactics to try and extract information he doesn't have, or they say doesn't even exist. So we can look for evidence in the Manafort case on these allegations that he's not cooperating and he's lied once again to investigators. The bottom line, though, today to set expectations is that we expect all of these filings to be pretty heavily redacted or blacked out because the special counsel wants to protect sensitive information about ongoing investigations. So we'll get a better outline of the ongoing investigation, but perhaps not the kind of detail that people are hoping for, Sandra.
And you'll be there to help us get through all of that. Catherine Herridge, thank you.